House Republicans are all but measuring the grapes, counting on winning control of the House. The National Republican Campaign Committee spent $12 million last week alone, compared to $10 million spent by the DCCC. Republican Congressman Greg Walden of Oregon is deputy chairman of the NRCC and joins us now. Is there the risk of overconfidence, Congressman? Everyone seems to be betting that the Republicans are going to take over the House.
Well, Andrea, what I would say is that anybody who says we're measuring the grapes isn't in the room where the decisions are being made. We know this isn't over. We've got a long way to go. But we're spending $50 million in 70 races. We're expanding the playing field because Americans are saying they want a check and balance in Washington. They don't want the runaway deficit spending. The economy's not back on track. The government's off track. And so we're in this, and we're in this hard, and we're making a difference. I mean, the Democrats are on full defense. They're pulling away from incumbent members, longtime members of the House. They're pulling their money out and saying goodbye to them because Americans are fed up. And I think you're going to see, as you do in the polling data, there's going to be a big change in Washington, and a welcome change. Frankly, Americans don't want either party in complete, total power control of Washington. They want a check and balance, and I think they're going to serve that up November 2nd.
Here's one person, at least, who doesn't think that's going to happen. This is the Speaker of the House with Charlie Rose last night. Let's watch.
If I talk to you 6 months from now, will I be talking to the Speaker of the House or just a representative from California?
I have every anticipation that we will come together in this a similar format as we are now with me as Speaker of the House. We're right in the middle of the playoffs. New York, Texas, San Francisco, Philly.
Right.
Would you go up to one of those players?
Right, aren't they?
They are indeed. Would you go up to one of those players, tap them on the shoulder, and say, "Suppose you lose"?
Yeah.
We're in the game. We're in the arena. We're in the fight.
What would you say to the Speaker?
Well, Andrea, the interesting thing is she can go on Charlie Rose, but I haven't seen her out here in Oregon. I haven't seen her in a single competitive race. She can't go out and campaign for her own members because the policies that they move forward were so far to the left of center America. She can't be out there helping them. All she can do is hurt them. And the notion that she's going to be Speaker again, I think, runs contrary certainly to what these Democrats who voted for her now in tough races saying, oh, well, maybe she won't, maybe she'll get sick. Bobby Bride down in Alabama said maybe she'll get sick and won't be able to be Speaker, and I won't have to face that choice. Come on. They're in trouble. They know it. Their policies aren't working. We're bankrupting this country under their regime. You're doubling the debt in 5 years, tripling it in 10. Americans see this. They're fed up. They're angry. They're upset. And by the way, when it comes to sports teams, the only thing that matters are the Ducks. My Oregon Ducks, as you know, playing tonight, they're ranked number one.
The only thing that matters are the Yankees, but that's another whole story. I mean, we've got one more shot at this. But, when you talk about bankrupting the country, their argument, the president's argument, is that they inherited this. Now, maybe that argument isn't playing politically, but it is factually correct that they inherited this mess. And, TARP and all the rest of it was under George W. Bush's regime.
Oh, wait a minute. Didn't Barack Obama support TARP and vote for it as a senator? I thought he came off the campaign to do that. So, he's been part of this. But look, here's what Americans want. He came off the campaign to do a bipartisan thing under the appeal of the Treasury Secretary and the TARP. Republican President of the United States. Right. So you can't go back and say you're not part of it when you were in the Senate and voted for it. But here's the thing. I was a small business owner in the broadcast business for 22 years. If I hired somebody to come in and run my company, and 20 months later they're still blaming the other guy, and the problem hasn't gotten any better, and in fact worse when you look at unemployment stuck where it's at, when you look at the debt growing, not shrinking, I mean, you would say, whoa, wait a minute. We want you all to get together and solve these problems. We got a lot at stake. I come from a state whose unemployment rate's over 10%, in the district where it's higher than that. People are hurting out here in the middle America. They're hurting out in rural America. They want answers and solutions. They don't want the blame game. And so we got to move forward. We got to put our heads together, everybody's head at the table. You've got to have new leadership in Washington, a check and balance on what's happened in Congress. When you look at these bills that are 2,000 pages high, that affect 1/5 or 1/6 of our economy, and nobody has a chance to read them, 24 hours, they're crammed through. Both parties have done that over time, but no party's done it like Nancy Pelosi has done it in the House. And that's why America Americans are fed up, and they're going to vote for change. It's showing up in the polls, in the Gallup polls. Very respected independent polling shows that when you come to the generic ballot test, we are very strongly ahead. Motivated voters, we lead among motivated voters. And on the issues that matter most to Americans, about getting control of spending, about getting the economy going again, about creating jobs in America, they now trust Republicans more than Democrats. And for the first time I've seen in a long time, Andrea, the Republican brand actually tests better than the Democrat brand. So they've got issues. It's a midterm referendum election. It's what happens with, I don't care who's in charge. The midterm election's a referendum on the president, and since 1962, whenever a president's favorability rating's below 50%, his party's lost on average 41 seats in the House. This president's favorability rating, below 50, somewhere in the mid-40s. You've got over 50 Democrat House members with vote totals under 45% right now. They are in trouble. They know it. They're panicked. They're desperate. And American voters are going to weigh in here in less than 2 weeks.
That's certainly the polling. We'll have to see what the voters actually say, but we'll have more polling coming up next with our own NBC News, Wall Street Journal polls. Thank you very much, Congressman. Good luck out there.
And
good luck to the Ducks.
Thank you very much.